Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking. Today we're going to be doing the first back in the series with the Meatless Fridays. It is the season of Lent, so we don't eat meat on Fridays here. So that means there's a lot of meat-free dishes, a lot of fish dishes, and that's going to be part of today. Now, of course, normally if you can use regular whole crab meat or the real stuff, that's best for the dish. I can't eat crab meat, not the real stuff anyway. I can eat the imitation stuff, which isn't as good as the real thing, but it's still not bad. And Mike actually likes it too. So the crab Imperial I do today, I'm going to be doing with an imitation crab. Obviously, if you can eat the real deal, go for it, but this isn't bad either, and you can see how it comes out. This is a long old time dish, been around for a long time, so you'll see what goes into it and how we do it. So a pound of my imitation crab meat, some of that, and butter divided, 1 tablespoon there, 2 tablespoons here for 2 different parts, a little bit of minced onion, half a cup of milk, tablespoon of flour to go with the tablespoon of butter to make part of our sauce, some lemon juice, and half a cup of mayo, salt, pepper, 2 slices of bread cubed. I'm using wheat just because that's what we like, and some paprika. And I'm going to show you how we put this together. So the first part of this is we're going to put in our tablespoon of butter. Get that melted. Our butter is melted, then we're going to add our tablespoon of flour. And remember, whenever you're making a roux, you always keep your fat to your flour ratio the same. And there we have our roux, and then we're going to add our half cup of milk, and I'm just going to stir this in until it's smooth and it thickens up a little minute here. And when that thickens up, it'll also get the flour taste out of it, and here you can see it's thickening up really nicely. I'm going to add the sauce into it and the onions, the minced onions, and give that a stir quick. And then I'm going to add my bread cubes. And I'm just going to fold this in like this. So that's all mixed. And we're going to let this cool. So our mixture, our filling mixture here is cooled, and I'm going to add in the lemon juice and fold in the mayo and a dash of salt and a little bit of pepper, and I'm going to add, even though the recipe doesn't call for it, I like it, so I'm adding it, and that's just a little bit of Old Bay. Now I'm just going to fold this in, and then we're going to work on the next part. We're going to get our crab ready. And before you think that imitation crab is really crappy seafood, it's not. At least watch your brands. This stuff that I got is actually Alaskan pollock, which is really good whitefish, similar to haddock. So it's not a bad fish at all. Very mild, very sweet. Alright, this is folded in, so let's get to the imitation crab part. So I added my 2 tablespoons of butter And here's my imitation crab. And we're just going to toss this in and let this brown in the butter for just a couple minutes. Then we're going to add the rest of our mixture. So this has a little color in our brand butter. And it's ready to go. We're going to fold in our mayo stuffing mix. And then stick it in the oven. I have a 450 degree preheated oven. I'm just going to mix this all in. And some of this is going to be according to taste. You know, you might want a little bit more lemon. All depends. I've changed this from the original recipe to suit myself for how I like things. I'll just get this all stirred in. And then the last step that the recipe actually calls for is a little bit of paprika across the top. And I'm going to do that, but then I'm going to do something else. And by the way, the mayo mixture keeps it really nice and moist as we bake this. And I'm going to bake it right in my cast iron because, you know, why not? So that's all set there. And I'm going to put a little sprinkle of the paprika across the top. Then I'm going to do something else. Instead of using like breadcrumbs or whatever, I like a little bit of crunch because you want to have, you know, different texture. And this always goes really nice on like a lobster mac and cheese. So I'm going to take some crumbled gingersnap cookies. We like ginger, and believe it or not, the gingersnap cookie crumbled across the top. Give a little bit of toasted crunch and a little bit of dimension to our crab Imperial. Doesn't take a lot. I'm just sprinkling. I think I used like 2 to 3 cookies here. There you go. So, there it is. She's ready to go in the oven. 450 degrees for about 15 minutes. She's out of the oven, all bubbly and sizzling. So we're going to let this cool a little bit. And you know what comes next. So here it is, out of the oven. Give it the taste test. I paired it with some rice and veggies. Have a little extra lemon if you want it, put it on top. It's still hot. It's nice and creamy. And the ginger snap on top gives it a little bit of crunch. Really moist. I know it's not as good as the real thing. If you can eat the real thing, do the real thing. But this isn't bad if you can't. It's really quite good. It's as good as I can get, as close as I can get. I do other crab dishes. I've done my crab stuffed mushrooms with real crab. I also do real crab cakes for Mike. I don't think I've done a bit on that. If I haven't, I'll do that before the Lenten season is out and give you some real crab cakes. But this is my crab Imperial, my take on it. Give it a shot. Hope you enjoy this Meatless Friday, and here's that.